Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we will finish this core UI because we have built too much components. As you can see here, this is very scalable. If you have to add more components, you have just to focus on the core UI, and perhaps there is another team that's going to work on the core UI, so it doesn't have to know what the application does. The team is going to build the components, and whoever in charge of building and implementing the features is going to use the components from the core UI. Just a side note here, I would like to add a new file. It's going to be called index.typescript and going to export everything. Now we are going to build the last two components, which is the loader. As you can see here in the screen, it's going to be just a loading indicator that's going to be shown whenever we are loading the next route. I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it loader. Create new file, loader component itself, and it will have its controller or its view model. So I'm going to create a new file, going to be called loader store. Let's define first of all how it's going to look like. I would like to be a dialog, so it's going to be shown as a dialog v model. So the max width 190. It's going to be persistent. So if you click outside this dialog, it's not going to be closed. A decorated container. You can find all the available components in the Vuetify official website. I'm going to position this in multiple rows, deflex and flex column. In the center, padding of 10. And I'm going to show a progress indicator, circular progress indicator. The color is going to be primary, indeterminate progress indicator, some padding here, make a space between the progress indicator and the icon. Underneath, I'm going to add the icon. I'm gonna show the icon dynamically from the icon that we have in our asset folder. We have already imported the icon when we have configured theming. So the icon, $, and logo small. So we have defined the logo. The next one is going to be the text. So let's display a text span. And actually, we need to add class here, some padding, the icon and the circular progress indicator. Because 6 is not enough, text subtitle 1, text primary, it's going to be bold, and the padding top of 3 constant file inside the core UI. And I'm going to create here a new, at the top perhaps, it's going to be great. Let's call it app or application name. Pocket goods, and inside here, we're going to do app name. Now we have to create the Pinia store to play the role of a controller that's going to decide whether to show the loader or not with a helper function. We have only one state, which is loading. It's going to be Boolean, and as default parameter, is loading is going to be false. So we only have one action. It's going to be set is loading as parameter, is loading equal is loading. So now let's use our Pinia store here as shown earlier. Loader store gonna be use loader store. So basically it's gonna be shown whenever the loading indicator or the loading state is set to true. So that's pretty much it for the loader component. So I'm going to create here an index file. All right, let's create a new folder. I'm going to call it breadcrumbs, a new component, breadcrumbs.view. This is going to be a little bit complicated actually because it has to be dynamic. Create another component that's going to play the role of the breadcrumb item. It will have a title, like a model, whether it's disabled or not. The link that should be used for breadcrumbs item. Let's wrap everything into a container. Here we're going to test if we should display this container or not. We do have breadcrumbs in Vuetify, luckily. Template for the item, the component that should be displayed before the breadcrumb. We would like to show the icon of our application. So this is the prepend components. We need to iterate over or throughout the available items in breadcrumbs. So we're going to do template, and we have in view another directive v4. So it's like for a loop in TypeScript or any other language. So it's going to take in parameter an item and an index. And we will access the keys. We have to access here actually the href. Basically, the items is going to be the list of the breadcrumbs item, but we have to do some computation before consuming the item's data. Breadcrumbs item. This is a component from Vuetify, which holds the data that we have created before. So let's customize the text appearance or the typography, text subtitle. If the item is not disabled, because we're going to disable the item according to the computation that we're going to do here inside the TypeScript section, we will put href here. Otherwise, it's going to be undefined. So it's not going to redirect us to anywhere. The disabled, the item disabled, and it should be exact. Inside, we will put the title, and we are done with the breadcrumb item. Here we need to add the icon that's going to play the role of slash, and here we have to run a simple if statement to slash only between items, not after the last item. Another template. What is the condition? If the index, we do have to put this one here because we are in the for loop. So if the index less than the breadcrumbs items dot length -1, we will show this icon. And that's pretty much it. We need to do some styling just for the width of the container because I don't want it to be so huge. Let's say 75% of the viewport width. So that's pretty much it. And now we have to restructure the items in order to be consumed by the templates. So I'm going to create here an array of items. It's going to be a computed property of type breadcrumb item. Find here callback function. Here we need to construct the items. So the most difficult part here is actually to reformat the links. Let's get the path from the route. And in this case, we're not going to use router, but we have to use route. The available paths stored inside route.path. And we're going to split by this separator. We're going to filter Boolean. So those are the available paths. Now we need to store the breadcrumbs data. So let's create the path that's going to be constructed according to the available entries. And the entries, what I mean with entries is, for example, let's say we navigate to the products with products ID. If we keep only the path as it is, we're going to see in our breadcrumbs, for example, home and product 1 or something like product ID equal 1. We don't want to see this in our breadcrumbs. All right. So that's why we are going to create here a variable or value that's going to construct for us, or we're going to store in it the accumulated path. We're going to iterate over this array. First of all, we're going to check and we're going to skip the product's ID, for example. We're not going to include the product's ID or any unwanted segments like 1 or 1 to 3 or whatever. So the segment should match this regular expression, and basically it's going to test for the string that should start only with digits. We will skip the product's ID, for example, or unwanted segment, as we said before. And here we're going to skip this iteration. Other case where the string does not match this regular expression, we will start accumulating the path by the separator plus the segment. Going to add it to the array, so breadcrumbs dot push. The title of the object, page title. Here I'm going to store page title within a reference document dot title. So here I'm going to assign the page title dot value from the reference. Otherwise, so we're going to decode the URI component of the segment. It's going to get the uncoded version of an encoded component of uniform or URI. Disabled, it's going to be true because always the last item should be true. So it should be disabled. For the link, it's going to be the accumulated path. So after finishing looping over the available segment, we're going to add an element to the start of the array by calling the function and shift. For the title, it's going to be home. And surely I'm not going to hard code this. So it's going to be const here, home screen title, if you will. You can actually model this even better. here in the screen, you can add something like route and home title, if you will, home screen title. And it's going to be disabled. It's going to be enabled, sorry. The link, home screen. At the end, we need to return the breadcrumbs available items. Add computed property, which is should display. We have to filter that breadcrumbs should be displayed or not. I'm going to use the route object in order to access current path. If the path is not the home screen and the path is not the page 401 and the page it's not 404, this breadcrumb should be displayed. Now we need to observe the page title. We're going to do onMounted whenever the component is ready. Going to create here const title element. It's going to be the document that query selector page title. If the title element is not null, we're going to create an observer that's going to observe the page title and to change the value of the page title that we have defined here. Let observer, mutation observer, it's going to be nullable, mutation observer, and it has a callback function. So we will change the page title that value equal the document that title. So we're going to make it reactive. And here we're going to do observer dot observe title element and child list to true. Children are to be observed. So we're going to observe the children. We're going to do some cleanups here because we are using observer. We're going to clean the observer. If the observer is not null, we will do observer.disconnect. This is quite some work. And let's use the should display here. There is a small problem here, so we shouldn't use this bracket because it's giving an error. So directly we're going to do it like this. So that's pretty much it, I guess. Add here an index file. So that's pretty much it. I guess that we have implemented all the necessary components. So we have built the breadcrumbs, the loader, and the snake bar controller, or the snake bar, and the page 404, 401, confirm dialog, header, logo, multiplayer, message, and theme switch. I guess I'm going to add here an index. So congratulations, we have successfully implemented the core UI of our application. If there is any error because we still did not run the application yet, I hope you liked the video. See you in the next one and happy coding.